Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam yasha Allah. Koholoyim la Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Bahashim Chahakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and led by the Spirit. Taught us this beautiful truth, and just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Aqua that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawach. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And just want to go off into this video right here. This is in the New York Post, and this is a copyright disclaimer. 1976. This is for educational purposes only. 107, and I'm not making any monetary value off of the video, but I wanted to just show this video of this carnivore here that's eating this meat raw, and she says I eat 2 pounds of raw meat a day, including ground chunk and steak. And just some Edomite shit. It's not a color thing. We always like to bring that out, but this is definitely Edomite actions. Because Jake don't generally do no shit like this. This is fucking disgusting. Jake would look at a raw ass steak or anything raw. Jake don't like no runny ass eggs. You do got some Jake that's into stuff like that because they've been, basically conquered by Esau, and they feel like, the way that Esau explains things, or his curriculum is where it's at, and what he says is right, when no, we go with the scriptures, because this man is totally opposite of what the scripture says. He's crooked, man. There's nothing straight about this man. But let's just play this little video in here. Bear with me. Yeah, it says it led to a bizarre antibiotic resistant infection. So of course they're gonna play some bullshit real quick, but a Florida tattoo shop owner, Wendy Marshall, is so fond of raw meat that she scarfs 2 pounds of it daily. Ground chunk, cold cuts, whole roast, porterhouse, the bloodier the better. Marshall devours it all, right? So, and the scriptures talks about just not even being in the tattoos. Let's get that law real quick. So this person, and I'm willing to bet you, she'll more than likely tell you she's a damn Christian, believe in sweet white baby Jesus. But let's get the law on marks on your body. Let me see, how's that word? It's lock here. You own a damn tattoo shop. Yeah, the law is Leviticus 19:28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. And when you go into this, in the New Living Translation, it actually says tattoos. And you got these people, they'll tell you, well, that was Old Testament, the law's done away with. The Lord died so I can do all this stupid shit now. And it's just not, it's not biblical, bro. Okay, but it says in NLT, Leviticus 19:28, do not cut your bodies for the dead, and do not mark your skin with tattoos. I am the Lord, right? Because you got Jake. Again, they've been in captivity for so damn long. Somebody in the family died. They got to get the nigga's whole full name with his 2 middle names, and the praying hand emojis with white Jesus underneath it, and all that shit on their body. So all on their damn neck, on their face. All. Well, since I'm already in the law, let me get the let me see. Because the law clearly says not eating blood. Now, somebody said in there that it wasn't actually blood once the animal is drained, which I'm doubting if this animal was drained, but still there's blood in it. The shit's supposed to be cooked, man. Let me just go back into the law of Leviticus. Leviticus 3:17. It shall be a perpetual statute. So that means ongoing, perpetual, ongoing. For your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood. Now, we do live in captivity, you know what I'm saying? So scriptures talks about how we'll eat our bread defiled amongst the Gentiles. Let me grab that real quick, and I'm gonna jump back into this video. But what I try and do, to the best of my ability, you know what I'm saying? I mostly broil everything that I kind of eat as far as like meats. but generally I boil it as well. You know, like if I'm just, I mean, it may sound strange, but you know, if I'm eating that shit, and then you know, with the things that Esau be doing anyway, you know, I boil that shit, and you can see the fat and the blood floating to the top of the water anyway. And you know what I'm saying? I throw it in the sifter, rinse it down, do it another, you know, one more time or so. You know what I'm saying? But you can see that blood and that fat floating to the top of the pot. It'd be around the side of the rim of the pot. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know, Jake, he just throw that shit into a pan, make a hamburger. So you just eating fat, blood, and you know that's why Jake be having a lot of ailments, man. You know, we do the best that we can, but if you broil that meat and you look at the pan where it broiled, you're gonna see all kinds of shit in there. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be fat, blood, you know, and actually, you know, to the point of it, it almost, in some cases, lard. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, you know, when it comes to you know how you know, ground chunk or ground beef, you're doing hamburgers, you're gonna do burgers, man. It's best to me broil them. You know what I'm saying? So all that shit will drain through. Plus, you know, a lot of the impurities that Esau, you know, because you know these shopping centers that we go to, these fucking heathen don't give a shit about what they giving us, man. You know, we just pray over it, do the best we can. But this is Ezekiel 4:13, and the Lord said, Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them. So we do eat defiled bread, but you know, we do the best we can in this kingdom that we're in. But let's just play this video real quick of this chick. Uh, I didn't play it already all the way through, but let's see here. Here we go. That, that disgusting ass shit just turned your face up, man. When you know, but this is Esau. Esau, you know, he eats shit like this, you know. But as a matter of fact, this is how, hey, you know, that motherfucker got that name. Eat him, man. Let's go into the you know, this is how, you know, see the part of this truth is we have to identify Esau. That's going into Second Thessalonians. Matter of fact, let me just grab that first, and I'll jump to the scripture that just proves that this man is who he is, man. This is Esau. Second Thessalonians 2:3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And that man of sin, the son of perdition, is Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, man. Matter of fact, in the NLT it says the one who brings destruction. Who's bringing all the destruction? He's the man of lawlessness. You know, verse 4 says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Right? So that's Esau going, you know, he gave you a white God, he gave you white Jesus, he gave you white angels, you know what I'm saying? The prophets, Mary, Joseph, Ezekiel, you name it. Everybody in the scriptures that's supposedly righteous, you know what I'm saying, you know, belongs to their lineage. And that's not true. You know, this man, you know, his blood shows forth through his skin. You know, this is Esau. Let's go into it. Genesis chapter 25. And this is where let me see, Esau sells his birthright. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get that birthright back, right? So let me start from verse 27. Let me read it in the New Living Translation, Salakia. As the boys grew up, now if you're familiar with this story, this is the twins that Rebecca had, you know, Isaac and Rebecca, Jacob and Esau. Jacob is the progenitor of, you know, the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And Esau is the progenitor of who we call the so-called white race today, because there's no such thing as white or black people. Biblically, you know, they're Edomites or Esau, Idumeans in the Greek. And biblically, we are Israelites. So it says, as the boys grew, Genesis 25 and 27, as the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter. Now, who's out in the fields always fucking hunting? This man hunting right now. It's cold as shit out. I'm here in Michigan. If these motherfuckers is out in that cold, they hunt year round. They gonna find something to kill. That's just their nature. The Lord created them that way. He was an outdoorsman, but Jacob had a quiet temperament, preferring to stay at home. That's us. You know what I'm saying? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Don't get me wrong. We will go out to hunt, but it's generally to pretty much get food to eat. This man, he hunts for sport. He'll go all over to Africa. He'll gun down a rhino. Knowing he ain't gonna eat the rhino, but who knows? They might eat that motherfucker. He'll gun down a lion. He'll gun down an elephant. He'll gun down anything, man, and take a goddamn picture with him. He's all underwater shooting spears and shit at sharks and whales, and he'll take a photo with it, man, because he hunts for sport. He's an outdoorsman. He's not, we're a plane man. We're not trying to bungee jump and jump out of goddamn airplanes and, skydive and fucking scuba dive down 1,000 feet trying to find a damn shark. We're just not into shit like that. We're not, X gaming it. We're not trying to Evil Knievel jump a damn ramp with 60 cars and, just, nah, man, that's Esau. This is him. Okay, but let me start from the top again. It says, as the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter. He was an outdoorsman, but Jacob had a quiet temperament, preferring to stay at home. We like to chill. Hey, give us our music. Give us our as men, give us our women. We like to spend time with our children, but of course, you can't enjoy no children in this man's captivity or this man's kingdom. But our drink. Jake like to just chill. We throw some motherfucking meat on the grill. We gonna cook that goddamn meat. It's gonna be done all the way through. Having some drinks, doing our thing with our music on. We like to chill at the crib. This motherfucker, he's out everywhere. He's in Mount Everest. He's on top of a goddamn ski slope. He's riding out an avalanche. Come on. You can't get around it, man. Verse 28, it says, Isaac loved Esau because he enjoyed eating the wild game Esau brought home, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Verse 29, one day when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau arrived home from the wilderness exhausted and hungry. Esau said to Jacob, I'm starved. Give me some of that red stew. See, this is how Esau got his other name, Edom, which means red. Right? And so, as a matter of fact, it says that he came out red. Let me go up here. Let me get verse 25. It says he was the first one to come out, so he is the oldest child, so to speak. Right? But it says the first one was very red at birth. Right? And covered with thick hair, like a fur coat. So they named him Esau. And they're not white. These are not white people. They're not running around looking like a glass of milk, man. Some of them are, as red as a damn brake lights on a damn car. Some of them are, more pinker. But in the meanwhile, we know that they don't look like a glass of milk. They're not white. That's a social construct. But let's go back, and I hate to even look at this damn video because this shit is just fucking disgusting. Yeah. Anyway, and these could be Israelites, you know what I'm saying? Because Jake, man, they get caught up in Esau's system, in this world, and Jake just they do what Esau do, man. They do what he does, and they really think that they're Americans. Wherever Jake is at amongst Esau, that's why the Lord said to learn not the way of the heathen. You know, when the Lord gave us those instructions, as far as like the law, when He told us don't eat blood or fat, that's what these heathen were doing. Everything that the Lord said He told us not to do in the scriptures, that's exactly what the heathen were doing. When He said don't sleep with animals, they were doing that. When He said don't sleep with your mother, you know, or that's what this is what they were doing. All those law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave us, they were doing that. See, that's what separated us. The scriptures, the word, man, of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? Let's go into the comment boards. Let's see here, because you probably, somebody says, I notice how tempered, mild, and polite these comments are, which is fine. I can't help but think about how the comments would be if this were someone black. Yeah, of course. Yeah, they'd be calling you all kinds of monkeys, whatever, man. Whatever comes to mind. Everything but a child of God, they would say. Somebody says, this is literally the dumbest thing I've read today. Are really that insecure about color? No, no. That person that was a direct quote that we already know what it is. Says, dude, they responded, does it sound like I'm joking? I'm serious. You know, just as well as I, that the comments will be awful. My point in saying something is we can watch white people do stupid and disgusting things without being mean. The same can't be said when it's the other way around. And matter of fact, I mean, because this is Esau, he's going to compliment his own people. He's not going to shit on his own people because deep down they know that's just the way the fuck they are, man. These are those cavemen that came out of those caves, man. Psalms chapter 73. Let me start at verse 3 here. It says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. So they get the benefit of the doubt no matter what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? No matter what they're into, they get the benefit of the doubt. Right? And somebody said, ooh, she got, yeah, she got that. But ain't no telling what kind of parasites in that bitch, man. Mm. Somebody says, I used to eat raw beef for years on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve, but last 3 or 4 years been scared to do it anymore. Makes a great burger though. See, this is a fucking Edomite. Somebody actually put the scripture in here where they said the Holy Scriptures tells us that we are not to eat blood. I guess somebody says you're not going to post with scripture. I would like to know. So I guess they didn't post the scripture. Well, maybe I'll post the scripture for their asses. I could have done it. Because you're not, because people don't know the scriptures. This could actually be a Jake and just don't know. It says blood and raw beef are two different things. Nah, that shit is all the same, nigga, to us. Uh, Somebody says we used to lock up weirdos like her and keep them away from kids. Now we promote these lunatics as if there's something interesting about some sick woman who is obviously suffering from some sort of emotional and psychological trauma. Well, I mean, hey, everybody online to get to have a say these days. Shit. Somebody says my father used to eat raw hamburger meat. He would put it in 2 pieces of bread with salt and pepper, eat it. It gave me the dry heaves. It's absolutely disgusting. Now, because I can remember my dad. He was telling me about a story not long ago. He used to work with this Edomite, and he said that every time his wife would make spaghetti or whatever, he said by the time she got around to it, there would be no fucking meat in the spaghetti because she be done fucking ate all of it raw. While she's waiting on the damn noodles and shit to get going. I guess I don't fucking know, but anyway, I was like, damn. Um, my pops did the same thing with a sliver of onion. Yeah, this is Edomite shit. This is normal shit to Esau. This is shit that they do. They ain't got no problems with nothing like this. Mm. Yeah, she probably is full of fucking worms. Straight up Neanderthal, somebody say. Oh man. I like the flavor of seasoned cooked meat, but hey, I'm weird. It's obviously not healthy because look how fat she is. I cook my meat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey man, Jake not into all this shit, man. But hey, me end out here. This scripture do come to mind, even though they was eating the mallows and Job, which I've heard that's pretty healthy. But hey, these people, you know what I'm saying? They have a it's history on them eating people, man. You know what I'm saying? You Jake, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, man, during the time of slavery. So if she'll bite into that raw ass meat, she ain't gonna have no problems when shit hit the fans. You know what I'm saying? She gonna bite right off into a person. She ain't gonna need no fire. She ain't gonna need nothing to heat shit up. She just gonna straight bite off into your damn arm. Anyway, this is Job 30. Let me start at verse 3. Oh man. Now let me start at verse 1. Let me try this in the NLT, New Living Translations. But now I am mocked by people younger than I, by young men whose fathers are not worthy to run with my sheepdogs. Um, the KJV it says, I would have disdain to have set with the dogs of my flocks. Esau, he fucks with the dogs. He be sleeping with the dogs. And a lot of these women, Edomite women, as of late too, been getting arrested. And this shit been on the news. Like damn, I seen one chick. She ended up getting arrested. They let the bitch out, and she ended up getting arrested again for, I guess they call it animal cruelty. She all sleeping with the damn dog. Anyway, verse 2. A lot of good they are to me, those worn out wrenches. They are gaunt with hunger and flee to the deserts, to desolate and gloomy wastelands. They pluck wild greens from among the bushes and eat from the roots of broom trees. They are driven from human society, and people shout at them as if they were thieves. So now they live in frightening ravines and caves and among the rocks. They sound like animals howling among the bushes, huddled together beneath the nettles. They are nameless fools, outcast from society. And this is how this was Esau before. Now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? They supposedly these are righteous people that's giving all the damn rules and writing all the fucking laws and shit. Right? But I just wanted to touch on that real quick. This is definitely some shit that we're not supposed to do. And again, I would say, if you can, broil your meats, man. You know what I'm saying? And you'll see, shit on the bottom of the pan. You know, because if you want to try and keep, you want to keep it juicy, somewhat. You can. I just broil it for a while, and then I kind of turn it on bake. At that point, you know what I'm saying. But once you see everything on the pan, on the bottom of the pan, you're gonna notice that, and it's just a lot more healthier. You know what I'm saying. You're getting rid of that fat out of it, and you're getting rid of that blood out of it. You know what I'm saying. Now, you may have hints of it. Don't get me wrong, because we're not the experts here, but it's definitely healthier to eat it that way, whether it's chicken, turkey, whatever. And also, because even with these heathens, their process of butchering and doing what they doing, I figure if you broil it, you get it to that good hot temperature, and it broils through. You know what I'm saying? Any impurities and shit like that that's in it, at least mass majority of it'll be gone. That's just my thing when I'm chopping it up, or I'm throwing shit on the grill. I don't do no bunch of frying and shit like that. But yeah, just a point that I wanted to make. So, hey, pray that the lesson was edifying. With that, Kwame Yashala and the Bible Ball.